Oh yes, the movie we've all been waiting for. I've been waiting for this for years. Um, I know people who have spent a lifetime just waiting to see a movie with Batman and Superman, and they get it on and they fight. I know people have been waiting for this forever, and I'm gonna do this review in two different ways. This is gonna be a non-spoiler review. Okay, this is just my first impressions as I just left the theater after watching Batman vs. Superman 2016 film, Dawn of Justice. And then also, I have to spoil this film, you know. So I think I'm gonna make a new segment on my YouTube page, which is, I'm gonna call it Sunday Spoilers. When I see a big movie like this, I'm gonna spoil it on Sundays. I'm gonna wait for everybody to watch it, and then I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it. All right. So be on the lookout for that. The Saturday spoiler review. That's gonna be video. This is just the audio. But yeah, let's talk about this movie. So, oh man, just for full transparent reasons, just so I get it out there, I like Zack Snyder. I like most of his films. I liked Watchmen. I like 300. And yes, the most important thing is I did like The Man of Steel. Yes, I know a lot of people fucking hate that movie. I know it's an abomination to some people's life. I understand that. To the fanboys out there, hey, it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I like Henry Cavill as the Superman. I feel like he looks the part. Let's get back to this movie, Batman vs. Superman. So the basic plot of this film is that Bruce Wayne, played by Mr. Ben Affleck, he was in Metropolis at the time when Zod and Superman were fighting. It shows you in the beginning of the movie, and it traumatized him to the point where he's just like, you know, he doesn't know if Superman is friend or foe, you know. And if you can't determine if somebody's friend or foe, then most likely they foe. So that's how that story comes in. It's another story going on with Lex Luger in this film, who is the bad guy. Well, somewhat. Yeah, he's the bad guy. He's the bad guy of the film. His whole thing is he's trying to get all this Kryptonian technology, you know, from the whole fight, you know, from the whole Zod thing. He's trying to get it all. There's Kryptonian technology all over the planet now because of that spaceship. He's trying to get all the Krypton he can get, and you know, pretty much make a super weapon out of it. He even comes to the point, and this might be a somewhat spoiler right here, but I feel like they showed this already in the trailer. But it comes to a point where he even gets General Zod's body, and you know, does experiments on that shit so he can find out more about the Kryptonian technology. And why does he want the Kryptonian technology? Well, it's obvious. He wants to rule the fucking world. You know, there's nothing. I don't know why Lex Luger wants. They don't explain that real well in the film. So that's going on there. More stuff that's going on is the geopolitical stuff where there's a senator, and she wants to get this like congressional hearings about whether or not Superman is a safety hazard for the planet or not. You know, whether or not he should be doing these things or he shouldn't be doing these things. You know, because there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where he rescues Lois Lane, but in the process of rescuing Lois Lane, people get killed, and when people get killed, they put the blame on him, even though it wasn't him that killed the people. You know, it's really fucking Lois Lane who just, this bitch in this film does not want to sit down and shut the fuck up. You know, she just wants to keep doing shit even though she has no powers. she just want to go all the way around the world and shit in this goddamn movie. But yeah, so that's going on there. And somehow Gal Gadot gets involved in this movie. She's Wonder Woman, or Dana, or whatever the fuck she is. She comes into this film in some way that I can't really talk about it. right now because this is spoiler free, so you're gonna have to wait for my spoiler review to see my opinions on that. And she comes in, the fight happens, which, by the way, the fight between Batman and Superman in this film is really spawned on by Lex Luger. Like, he is like, I thought he was like Don King in this film. Like, he's like the middleman. Like, when you used to play a little kid, it used to go, hit my hand, I hit that person's hand. That's him in this film. Oh, I hit him. Oh, he hit you. Real fucking childish. Yeah, and the fight happens, and somehow Doomsday is in this film, and he somehow, which all that happens at the end of the film, the Doomsday stuff, and yeah, I can't even talk no more about it, because if I talk anymore, especially about the end and where this goes from here, I will be spoiling the films. What did I think about it? To be perfectly honest, I was fucking disappointed, man. Honestly, this movie is the most disappointing movie ever in my life. Ever in my life. I thought The Phantom Menace was the most disappointing movie I ever saw back in 99. 2016 has broken The Phantom Menace 17-year skit for most disappointing film that I've ever seen in my life. Because this is it right here. The Dawn of Justice, Batman vs. Superman, most disappointing movie ever. What did I not like about this film? Well, let me just, before I say what I didn't like, why don't I start off by saying what I did like? I liked Ben Affleck. I thought he was, like every time he was on the screen, I lit up, man, because he's doing a great job. There is some shitty dialogue going on. Writers in this movie are on cocaine. I assure you, most of the writers on this film was on cocaine. David S. Goyer was on cocaine when he was writing this shit. I assure you that. So with the bad dialogue that he's given, he does a pretty good job of, conveying emotions and human sort of mannerisms that, we can relate to. And also, he just looked cool in the whole costume and everything. He just worked, as Batman. Jeremy Irons as Alfred, he's pretty good. I thought, just my opinion, I thought he was a little too young. I know he's not that young, but when I saw him and Ben Affleck together in scenes, I was like, they kind of like buddies. I mean, it could have been a buddy cop thing going on with those two, I always envisioned Alfred to be a little bit older. That's just my opinion, but he did a good job anyway. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I thought she looked good. I thought the get up of the Wonder Woman, costume looked pretty good. Honestly, I didn't think it looked bad at all. I thought it looked really good. At the end of the day, I'm still kind of with Henry Cavill, even though I know in this movie he doesn't help my cause. But, he still looks good to me, like, in terms of, a physical sort of Superman look. He still has that look that I kind of like. Okay, now, for the things that I didn't like, it's almost everything else. This fucking film is dreadful at times, man. It's, for a film that cost, and I'm looking at this $250 million budget, I thought some of the CGI looked fucking horrible. Like, and when I say it's fucking horrible, I'm mostly talking about Doomsday. He looked fucking bad. Like, y'all talk about the turtles looking bad. Look at this dumb motherfucker. Like a bag of shit. Like, literally, like, they just took a bag of shit and just put it on top of each other, and they called it the Doomsday. Like, he looked fucked up. He looked fucked up. Ain't no other way to describe it. He just looks fucked up. And the biggest problem with this film is that, like I said, these writers was coked up. They was on cocaine. I'm putting it out there, yeah. I'm spreading that rumor that these writers were on cocaine while they was writing this, because they go from story to story without even explaining shit in this movie. Like, they would just cut and just go to something else, and then go to something else, and then go to, like, they was on speed or some shit. Like, this was crazy. And if you ever want to know what I mean, if I ever use the word crowbar something in, look at this movie and look at the way they crowbar in fucking all the Justice League shit. That is the biggest crowbar job I ever saw in my life, man. Motherfuckers in Harlem couldn't crowbar better than that. Like, oh my God. They just said, fuck it. We don't have enough time. Let's just try to put these guys in the movie. I don't know. Let's have a scene with somebody stealing some files, and they just click on a file, and we just showed them doing the shit. You know, we show Aquaman doing his shit, and Cyborg doing some shit, and Wonder Woman doing some shit, and the Flash doing some shit. Oh man, it was a mess. The story itself is a mess, and I knew it was going to be a mess because I was always thinking to myself, why the hell would Superman and Batman even fight? Like, and you don't get a fulfilling answer watching this film. You get it doesn't make sense. I can't get really into the details right now because I'm trying not to spoil this, but it does not make sense that they're fighting each other. Not at all, man. That's the biggest problem. It just doesn't make sense. And then when I say crowbar and stuff in and how the story structure is, man, they use so many different types of comic book stories in this shit. Towards the end, they start using the Death of Superman shit, and it's like, what the fuck? What? What is going on in this film? Like, there was moments when I was watching this, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like an hour into this film, I was like, oh man, I don't know what's going on. Like, they doing a lot of talking, not a lot of action, but I don't know what's going on. And I don't mind the talking as long as you tell me what the hell is going on. Like, Lois Lane, she be doing her own shit. Clark Kent, this motherfucker, he got a job. He don't want to do his job. They tell him to write some sports shit. He's writing some politics. I don't know. What the fuck is going on? Listen, man, I can't really get into the details of what I want to say other than the fact that the movie's too long, the CGI is bad, the story structure is fucked up, and it's just not a good movie. Now, I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to give it visual nonsense. I didn't think it was visual nonsense, but I did think it was some nonsense, all right? Some straight up nonsense, but not visual nonsense. It's something that you can rent when it comes out. I would not advise you to go out and see this in the theater. That 3D didn't even fucking help. The IMAX didn't help at all. I mean, that's just my opinion. All right, so yeah, I'm disappointed with this film, and I can't say nothing more, man. I'm K, and like, subscribe, and I know some fanboys not gonna like what I have to say. I mean, y'all can eat a dick. I'm just gonna keep it real, like, cause this shit was bad. I'm K. Peace.